So we're in the process of starting this Hindu temple. It's basically like a prayer wall where every morning they usually come here and pray before they start their day. So what we're gonna do, basically our plan is, they have this big picture frame, it's one of their gods on there. That's gonna go here, that's like the main staple. I'm gonna frame this wall out just a little bit, just to give it some contrast, give it a little bit of depth, so it gives a little bit more accent to the wall. And then they're gonna have a nice low base cabinet here, maybe a foot off the floor. Shelves on both sides, and it's gonna look real sharp. So just to show you on the drawings here, it's gonna look something like this. They have this little wooden temple, like a miniature version, that goes on top of the base. And this is gonna be their picture frame. Up top, we're gonna have all crown molding, shelves, and then there's gonna be a nice piece of granite on the bottom. So it's gonna be real badass. So I'm looking forward to getting into it. All right, so what we're doing now, we did the framing. So it's gonna give us a nice strong foundation to build everything on, because you're supporting granite. Just to give the toe kick a nice finished look, I'm using this plywood here, sanded plywood, and I'm gluing it, mitering on my corners, and then can we do a close-up of that? All right, check out the progress so far. Got a few hours in here. So we have our wall that we built. That's gonna be the big centerpiece, but you can already kind of see it. It's gonna almost stick out a little bit, kind of resembling like a fireplace kind of look. It's just gonna kind of come at you. I think that's gonna give this a whole lot more power, and I think the family's gonna enjoy that more. Then, we worked our way down. We built our base. I built it all like one piece, so it was kind of annoying to do it that way. Tip for any DIYer or someone who's looking to do this, I'd probably build my base on this first, this separate, and then nail those all together. I think it'll just be easier. I was kind of trying to take measurements and stuff. It was just being annoying. And then we put the 3/4 inch sanded plywood down, and then we needed some support for the granite. So we put one like a cross member here. This is going to be a drawer, and drawer. And we're also going to show you us making those from scratch. So now what we're working on here is, this isn't nice and finished. There's a lot of different joints and stuff like that you see. So what we want to do, you got to put a face frame, they call it. Like if you look at your cabinets, there's always that, usually it's 3/4 inches. It sits on the front, and that makes it look nice and smooth. This is all crappy and rough cut lumber. Now we're going to strip some pieces of plywood. You could use pieces of pine, whatever. And we're going to put that on the face. That's going to look real smooth. And then when we paint it, put the drawers in, it's going to look like a professional cabinet. So a key detail on this, they're going to have this big picture frame here. And what they do on these temples, they have these little ornaments, they're like bells that come down on each side. So what we're going to do to be real fancy is we're going to build this out almost like a soffit. And then we're going to have a shelf here. And then you'll have something to screw into with your bells to come down. This is what your soffit should be looking like at this point. And it's made out of wood, so now it's easy to screw into. Now you want to go ahead and add your drywall and then screw that into the studs. And I'm using drywall because it'll come out a lot smoother than using plywood. Now go ahead and use your corner bead and tape that 3 coats for a nice smooth finish. Then after this point, we really just have to work on little imperfections that we need to fill. We'll sand it all and start getting ready for the primer. So now we're just filling with some Bondo. I mean, you could use wood filler and whatnot, but I like to use this. It's a lot stronger. It's not going to shrink. Just gonna try and get a nice layer on there. It's trying to dry up a bit. There you go. So after you sand that, it'll be golden, nice and smooth. And now that everything's sanded, now we can go ahead and prime everything. So first thing we're going to start off with is doing the wall portion, and then we're going to use our sprayer to do any of the wood just to give it a better, cleaner finish. And the tool I'm using here to spray is called the Graco Quick Shot. Expensive, but definitely worth it if you haven't seen me mention it in my other videos. So now that we're not just waiting around watching paint dry, let's go build the drawers. So on the drawers, I'm actually just working on the floor now. Work on a table, save your back. Don't follow my advice. So it's 18 and a half, and I took into account the sliders that came in. So I subtracted that, and I made it real tight, 18 and a half, 18 and a half, and then I'm going 20 inches deep. So right now this is just the rough. I wanted to make sure everything added up, double check. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the table saw, and I'm going to put like a dado mark in here so that way I can slide my bottom piece in of the drawer. Come check it out. I'm going to set my table saw blade maybe about a 1/4 inch up, something right about there. Doesn't have to be specific. I would like to be around maybe this area. So I'm gonna line this up. I'm gonna lock it, boom. Now when I flip it, it's not gonna cut all the way through. It's only gonna make a little gouge. So that way I'm gonna use my bottom piece, which is a 1/4 inch, that's gonna slide right in there. It's gonna be nice. So as you can see here, come closer. We just ran the blade a couple times. Now, when we get this panel for our bottom, it's gonna slide right in there. And then you have a nice cleaner edge here. It'll be nice and strong too. Here, I'm gonna glue these joints, and I'm gonna use my 18 gauge brad nailer. And that's gonna give a nice tight joint. See, I did the first side, and you see how these joints line up perfectly. So now I'm gonna do the same thing on this side, making sure I'm gluing. I like glue. I tend to always use glue. Sometimes it makes a mess. That's why I'm working on plywood. Now you can see I'm gonna cut my bottom piece, the 1/4 inch plywood. It's gonna go right in there into those grooves. And then I'll put my back piece, and it's gonna be golden. So as you can see, we just finished building this one. You can see how those grooves give us a nice profile. That way the weight of this can sit on the wood as well as be supported by the glue. So this is really what you should have. And all you have to do is you put this where it has to go, you put your drawer sliders in, put your cabinet door on, put the hardware, and you have your drawer. So to build these, I used the 1x2 boards. I went ahead and secured them with glue and pocket screws. You flip it over, I used the 1/4 inch MDF and I stapled that and glued it. Now to dress it up, I went ahead and used this cove molding, 3/4 inches. It fits perfect in there, and that just dresses it up a little bit. So we did all the painting, and as you could probably think, a little bit too green. So we were talking about this yesterday. The homeowners took a look at it all night. Yeah, so we just built this for them, and she came back and she says, you know what, why don't we paint it the same color as the kitchen cabinets? That way there's a little bit of a better flow walking throughout the house. So for now, we're just gonna build it, prime it, paint it the same color. And then, yeah, we're gonna do the same thing for the bottom and the top. So yeah, I think it's gonna look pretty nice. Right now we got some strips of plywood, we did the sides, built the shelves off of that, we have our supports on the back. And then now we're gonna put our face, our filler, so that way we're not looking at the end grain. And then put our crown molding on, that's gonna be finished there. So let's get to it. We took a few extra minutes to finish the shelving. And next we need to get ready to attack the crown molding up top. And as you can see, it really dresses it up and makes it look a lot more formal. We caulked, filled all the nail holes, and sprayed everything with bin shellac primer for a clean, smooth finish. And I have to admit, I'm happy we're getting rid of that Shrek green and going towards this cream color instead. No, no peeking, no peeking.
What no peeking?
No peeking.
Really? My sister wants to see.
It looks nice.
Okay, hold on,
Ooh, now look at that baby shine. The temple's done. Now all we have to do is bring our color from the wall and cut it back into the temple. And wow, look at that finish. The shelves look like they're floating. The crown molding came out amazing. Even look at that countertop. Real shiny. The granite company did a great job polishing it. The drawers flow nicely. We still have to add the handles. And we have to add the rest of the decorations from the Hindu religion to give this space its purpose. Let's check it out. All right, guys, and there you have it. This is the temple that we built. So we put the handles back on, everything like that. All these drawers are functional, as you can see. And they're rated up to like 100 pounds or something like that. So you don't have to worry about putting too much weight in there. I mean, just look at that. With the lights on, they just puts plenty of attention right on this space. And especially when they have people over, this is really just going to be a talking point. So it's really cool just to be able to not go over someone's house and watch TV with them. You just walk around your house and have plenty of things to show them. So I'm very pleased with how this came out. And one of the cool parts about this is we actually repurposed the countertop from the island, and we sent it to the granite place that did the countertops. They went ahead and cut this all for us, installed, just everything looks just so sharp. If you guys feel like you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate you if you subscribed, like, comment. I would like to know what your thoughts are on this. Do you like the color? Do you like the granite? Do you like the handles? What's your favorite part about it? Or what would you have added or done differently? I think it's pretty awesome. If you want one built, I do work in Massachusetts and New Hampshire. You can go ahead and contact me at this number. So in the meantime, stay blessed by the best, and I'll see you on the next episode.